Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. I'm Nathan Hager, joined by Bloomberg's Kriti Gupta on a down Tuesday morning. And a lot of the negativity, it seems, Kriti, is driven by Palantir despite their earnings beat. Good morning.
Good morning, Nathan. Yeah, a fascinating one here because this really proves the idea that sometimes being an A++ student just isn't enough. And that's the story with Palantir this morning. Strong bookings, strong profit, strong guidance going into the next year. And yet the stock is quite literally driving down not only the gains that you're seeing in the futures picture, but kind of bleeding into some of the sentiment across the board when it comes to those heavyweight tech stocks. So Palantir shares down 7.4% this morning, $191 a share. We'll call it 192 just to round up. PLTR is your ticker. You're starting to see a lot of the street use that scary word, valuation. This idea that you've just seen the stock rally, but 150% year to date. So there's a big question here of whether this is just time to come back down to earth. And that's something that's bleeding into really the entire market this morning. Let's talk about that tech story, though, because we have another stock crossing the wire, or earnings, I should say, crossing the wire. Uber coming out. UBER is your ticker. Shares plummeting now 5% as we are speaking. Again, this comes after their third quarter results where their gross bookings actually seem to be coming in kind of in the range that was expected, at least for the fourth quarter. The third quarter bookings came in higher than expected. The estimate was $48.96 billion. It came in at $49.74 billion. Their fourth quarter gross bookings as well, the range, again, coming in line with estimates. So it's unclear what's driving this stock lower at the moment, but it might just be a sentiment thing. It feels like if you are a tech stock this morning, you are getting punished, good earnings or not. That's the story with Palantir, at least on the surface. That seems to be the story with Uber as well. There's a couple of other earnings crossing the wire as well, Nathan. Let's talk about Pfizer if we can.
Sure.
PFE is your ticker for the pharmaceutical stock, vaccine maker, whatever you want to call it. Those shares higher by 1.1%. So it's not doom and gloom everywhere.
Right.
Shares are trading at about $25 a share, approximately, give or take a couple of cents. Their earnings are coming in because they've boosted profit. They are looking for diversifying, remember, their portfolio of drugs. A big piece of that is their approach around Metsera, something that they're in a bidding war with the likes of Novo Nordisk on. So nevertheless, they are talking about boosting profit despite some of their COVID-19 vaccines seeing less demand. And of course, that is something that was largely expected in some of these earnings. Their full year adjusted EPS also coming in hotter than what the street expected. So some good news there. I have to throw this one in, Nathan, just because I think it's a fascinating story. iHeartMedia is having a massive day. This isn't a stock I usually cover in this segment, but it's worth hitting. IHRT is your ticker, higher by almost 10% this morning. It was higher by even more earlier in the session. This is a stock that's about $3 and change. So again, grain of salt there. But they are in talks with Netflix to license video podcasts from their platform. So really taking Netflix's move into the podcasting arena more seriously, because it's moving iHeartMedia shares in a very, very big way. I have to, now that I've talked about iHeartMedia, I have to talk about Denny's as well. I'm just,
okay.
I mean, naturally, DENN is your ticker.
Get on the Denny's podcast.
I mean, I'm a Waffle House kind of girl, but Denny's is getting the credit this morning.
Okay.
Shares are higher by 49%.
Oh my
because
goodness.
Apparently it's going private for $620 million. To get the folks who are really excited about Denny's, who got really excited about Denny's.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.